Good morning. I did a message one time called Word of Faith versus Decree and Declare. Now, the Lord has been dealing with me about, balance and having a healthy balance regarding some of these things for a very long time. For example, you got the religious side of people that where because of false movements, that derive from pretty much the charismatics and Pentecostals, religious people throw out concepts like word of faith, amen. Even though the Bible lets us know that there's power in our tongue, amen. Even though the Bible, through and through lets us know that our words have power. By the words of our testimony, we overcame, the enemy and whatnot by the blood of the Lamb. And if we confess with our mouth that Jesus is Lord, etc., the Bible emphasizes over and over about the confession of our faith, what we speak, the power of our tongues. You can kill with your tongue. You can, spirits literally can follow you just sowing like a bad seed in somebody else by your tongue. A parent can speak ill of their children, you can curse with your tongue, and a spirit will follow the words you said. Once what you said gets down deep into somebody and they end up believing it, well, that can open the door for a spirit to operate in them. That's how rejection works. That's how, inferiority can have a place in somebody's life. And some of those concepts are indeed spiritual, because spirits follow the word the same way the Spirit of the Lord follows his word, the Bible, amen, which all of the word is good for reproving, doctrine, instruction, etc. So the same way we read the Bible to embrace the Spirit of God, well, that's because the word we're reading is his Spirit. Jesus even told us he is the word, amen. So you can't think words are not spiritual because of false movements like the word of faith and name it and claim it. Those are distortions of something that's actually true, amen, because you don't get to just call out whatever you want and bend the universe to your own will to get whatever you desire. That's not what the power of the tongue is for. That's selfishness and that's perverted. But however, that does not take away from the power of the tongue, amen. Balance. But everybody's not called to be a teacher, y'all, and that's the problem. I say that truthfully, not arrogant. I say all that to say, speak to some of these issues. Speak to what's going on. Speak to anything that is contrary to what God has said over your life. You better learn to speak to in Jesus' name.